Welcome to our 10th video. In this video, we are going to discuss variation part 2, where we are going to discuss partial variation, adjoint variation. We will start with the partial variations, and we can denote that with this equation: y is equals to mx plus c, whereby m and c are constants. We can go to work out examples. Example 1. A variable y is partly constant and partly varies as x. If x is 2 when y is 7 and x is 4 when y is 11, find the equation connecting y and x. Solution: y is equals to c plus kx. When y is 7 and x is 2, we will have 7 is equals to c plus 2k, and we can call that equation 1. And then when we have y as 11 and x as 4, we will have 11 is equals to c plus 4k, and we can call that equation 2. And then we can solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously to get k as 2 and c as 3. So the equation connecting y and x is y is equals to 3 plus 2x. Question 2. A variable y varies partly as x and partly as the square of x. When x is 2, y is 14, and when x is 5, y is 65. Find the equation connecting y and x. Solution: y is equals to cx plus kx squared. When y is 14 and c is 2, we will have 14 is equals to 2c plus 2 squared k. From this, we are going to get 14 is equals to 2c plus 4k, and we can call that equation 1. And then when y is 65 and x is 5, we will have 65 is equals to 5c plus 5 squared k. From this, we get 65 is equals to 5c plus 25k, and we can call that equation 2. And then when we solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously, we are going to get k is equals to 2 and c is equals to 3. And then the equation connecting y and x will be y is equals to 3x plus 2x squared. Example 3. A quantity y is partly constant and partly varies inversely as x squared. If y is 7 when x is 10 and y is 5.5 when x is 20, write an expression connecting y and x. Hence find y when x is 18. Solution: y is equals to c plus k multiplied by 1 over x squared. When y is 7 and x is 10, we will have 7 is equals to c plus k multiplied by 1 over 10 squared. And then we are going to have this equation as 7 is equals to c plus k over 100. And then to remove 100 from the denominator, we are going to multiply both sides by 100 to get 700 is equals to 100c plus k, and we can call that equation 1. When y is 5.5 and x is 20, we are going to have the equation 5.5 is equals to c plus k multiplied by 1 over 20 squared, and this will give us 5.5 is equals to c plus k over 400, and then we multiply both sides by 400 to get 2200 is equals to 400c plus k, and then we can call that equation 2. Then when we solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously, we are going to get c is 5 and k is 200. So the equation connecting y and x is y is equals to 5 plus 200 over x squared. And then when the x is 18, we are going to have y is 5 plus 200 over 18 squared. And this gives us y is 5.6. Next, we are going to discuss joint variation, and we can denote that with the p is jointly proportional to q and r squared. And then we can give this as p is equals to k q r squared. Example 4, p varies jointly as q and the square of r. P is equals to 18 when q is 9 and r is 15. Find r when p is equals to 32 and q is 81. Solution, we are going to have p is jointly proportional to q and r squared, and this will give us p is equals to kq r squared. When p is 18 and q is 9 and r is 15, we will have 18 is equals to k multiplied by 9 multiplied by 15 squared. Then k is equals to 18 over 9 times 225, and this will give us 2 all over 225. Then we are going to replace p with 32 and the q with 81 to get r. So we are going to have 32 is equals to 2 over 225 multiplied by 81 multiplied by r squared. R squared is equals to 225 multiplied by 16 all over 81, and then we square roots on both sides. So we are going to get r is equals to 15 times 4 all over 9, and that gives us 6.667. Question 5. X varies directly as y and inversely as the square root of z. Find the percentage change in x when y decreases by 10% and z increases by 21%. Solution, x is directly proportional to y and inversely proportional to the square root of z. X is equals to k, then y all over square root of z. Before any change, we are going to have 1 over 100 over 100x. This is equivalent to k, and then we can put into bracket 100 over 100y all over square root of bracket 100 over 100z. And then we are going to let a to be the change in x when y decreases by 10% and z increases by 21%. This gives us the equation a over 100x is equivalent to k into bracket 90 over 100y all over square root of 121 over 100z. And then we are going to get a over 100x is equivalent to, when we divide 90 over 100, we are going to get 0.9, and then ky all over we can get the square root of 121 and the square root of 100, and that will give us 1.1 and then square root of z. Then we are going to have a over 100x is equivalent to 0.9 divided by 1.1 will give us 0.82, and then we have k y all over square root of z, and then we can equate a over 100 to 0.82. So we are going to have a is 82%, and this is a decrease of 18%. Example 6. The surface area S of a sphere is directly proportional to the square of its radius r. The volume V of the sphere is directly proportional to the cube of its radius r. Find the percentage increase in V when S increases by 25%. Solution: we are going to have two equations. S is directly proportional to r squared and V is directly proportional to r cubed. And then this will give us S is equals to k r squared, and we can call that equation 1. And then V is equals to c r cubed, we call that equation 2. And this is where k and c are constants. And then we have when S increases by 25%, we are going to let A to be the change in R. Then from equation 1, we will get 125 over 100 S is equivalent to K into bracket A over 100 R into bracket squared. This gives us 125 over 100 S is equivalent to A over 100 squared K R squared. And then from this, we are going to get 125 over 100 is equivalent to A over 100 squared. And then we are going to get A squared is equivalent to 10,000 times 125 all over 100. From this, we are going to get A is 111.8. And then we are going to let C to be the change in V. From equation 2, we are going to get C over 100V is equivalent to C into bracket 111.8 over 100 R cubed. This is because we have gotten the change, the A as 111.8. And then we are going to get C over 100V is equivalent to 1.118 cubed CR cubed. This will give us C over 100V is equivalent to 1.397 CR cubed. When we equate C over 100 to 1.397, we are going to get C is 139.7. The change in V is equivalent to 139.7 minus 100, and this gives us an increase of 39.7%. Then we are going to go to revision questions. Question 1. A quantity T is partly constant and partly varies as the square root of S. A. Using constants A and B, write down an equation connecting T and S. B. If S is 16 when T is 24 and S is 36 when T is 32, find the value of the constants A and B. Question 2. Two variables y and x are such that y varies partly as x and partly as the square of x. Determine the relationship between y and x given that when x is 2, y is 28, and when x is 3, y is 48. Question 3. The mass of a certain rod varies jointly as its length and the square of its radius. A rod 40 cm long and radius 50 cm has a mass of 6 kg. Find the mass of the similar rod of length 25 cm and radius 8 cm. Question 4. Given that m varies jointly as r squared and h, find the percentage change in m if r is decreased by 15% and h is increased by 12%. Question 5. Quantity p is partly constant and partly varies as the square of q, and q is 2 when p is 40 and q is 3 when p is 65. Determine the value of p when q is 4. Then we can go to the answers. Question 1. Roman 1. T is equals to a plus b, then square root of s. Roman 2. A is equals to 8 and b is 4. Then question 2. Y is equals to 10x plus 2x squared. Then question 3. M is equals to 9.6 kg. Question 4. There is a decrease of 19.08%. And then question 5. P is 100. Thank you. See you in the next video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.